Good day to you people. I've just got a customer come in with a pretty cool job, and I thought, well, while I was started it, I thought there's someone that might actually want to see the process of this. We have this brass lock here. I couldn't tell you what year it was or anything like that, but I do know the gentleman has lost the key and we have got to create a new one. Now, as you can see, the holes, that's where the screws were. They were a bit of a pain, as brass and steel, they actually sort of weld together. So we've got this one here. It's yeah, it's not too good. And this one we actually had to drill out because of how bad that was. Absolutely madness. But the first things first, we have got to have a look inside and see actually what we're working with. So let's go for it. Okay, so let's open him up, shall we? Okay. Oh, there we go. It came out. Okay, we've got that piece. Don't forget that. And or should I say, after recomposing myself and doing the hardest part of this job, which was indeed of cleaning out the bug debris, we finally got somewhere. Now this lock has 5 pins that move, and there is actually going to be 6 different cuts. That is going to be 1 cut for each pin, and then the final cut down the bottom will actually be the one that shifts over this lock, which is actually stuck open at the moment. But first, before we get through any of that, it is time to actually take it all apart. So we've got all of these out separate, nice, and then we'll clean them up and we'll go from there.
I'll spend a little bit of time cleaning up the levers, as I did notice some moisture on them. The lock could have been left in a damp place, or even outside.
That is all of that cleaned up. I'm quite happy with that. This glides nicely, and now it's time to get started on the cuts. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be using a 6-gauge key. This is what fits perfectly into this hole here. This is going to be on the inside of the lock, what we took out first, and being it doesn't jiggle around or anything, it's the perfect gauge for the key. For the lock. Now, clearly we know that it can't go any further. The key can't be any bigger than what this hole is here. So the first job we've got is we're going to cut this blank here, and we're going to get it so it just fits through this gap here. That's step number 1. There we go. I'll give you a different angle. Now, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, yes, you can, just about. That line there is indicating that there is 7mm from the top of here down to here. And that is how much space we actually need. So the next thing is to put it into my mortise machine, which is this side. This is the cutter side. Some people use files. I'm using a machine file. And yeah, I'll just give you a little show of what it actually does. So this is the machine. This sends the key left to right, and this one here sends it forwards and backwards. And what we do is we just lined it up, but there's no real lining up. If you were going to cut a mortise key, you'd actually put the copy of the key here, and you'd follow the guide, and this guide is in exactly the same location of here. So if we take this out a second and we push up against this blade, as you can see, that is touching there, and when it comes to that blade with the teeth, obviously the edge of the tooth is actually touching that bit, which is just how a mortise machine works. It's how all of them work, in all honesty. As long as it's symmetrical, you're well away. So we'll put this key back in here. Boop. We'll turn it on. It's not a very loud machine. Very nicely silent. And we're just going to cut down to where that line is. Okay. Now this key should fit exactly into this hole, like so. It does indeed. That's exactly what we were looking for there. So that's stage 1 done. Now the first one we actually have to worry about now is the locking bar. Now if we turn this lock around, we can, yeah, I definitely thought that was going to happen, but we're a little bit off. It does go if you jimmy poker it, but once this bit's in, there's no jimmy pokery enable. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at that. If we turn it, it fits perfectly up the top, but it's a bit of a sticky one. So the first approach is to actually lift this out like so, and we're going to determine what's the first cut. Now I've got my little gauge thing here. We're going to measure the width. Now the width of this bar is around 2.5mm thick. Now, to account for everything else, we're going to make the cut about 2.67mm thick, which is what it says there. If it was backwards, it'll say 2.7, and that is the first cut that we're going to do, is make a 2.7mm cut. Moment of truth, was this enough? Key in, round, oh yes, look at that, perfection. So see it, I'll go in and drop back, Now we're looking at the first lever, which is this one here, if I can hold it on the right side of the camera, that is. Now, this lever sits here and here. Now, this pin is to stop it from going too far. You know, if it's the wrong cut, it will stop it. We'll basically show you. So this spring here goes against the back wall. The ring goes over the circular bit. If we can give it a little push, there we go. And the square bit just hikes over like that. And now that pin is in. We're going to test this now, and obviously it's not going to unlock it. I do not believe it does. I believe this one's going to be a really deep cut, but we'll go around, and if you can see, I don't know if we can get it to work, that is. It's a bit of a tricky one. We're going to start at the top. There we go. Now you see that's lifting up and down. That's what doesn't want to happen. That just needs lifting up about a mil, not even that. And basically that will give it enough for, if I can do it, simulate the lock opening. There you go. So push the mill up, that'll open it. So probably going to take about 3mm from this cut line here, and I think it might be a little bit more, but I like to take a little bit off and then put it back. You know, if we need to take some more off, we'll take some more off, but there's nothing worse than going through many different blanks just to get one working. So this is the way I do it. Let's get you back over there. Here we are again. Now in there. Look at that. Oh no, we've got to do it backwards because it's now unlocked it. So like that, in and back. Ooh. Oh yes. Pin number 1 done. Pin number 2. Now we're probably going to pick this up tomorrow because I've had a busy day and well, I'm running out of hours. Another day, another dollar. We've got to get this lock all finished now. I'm going to give you a little time lapse of each individual cut and I'll show you the process. Pin number 2. In. Pin number 2. Three. That pin number 3. Number 4. Nothing to do with number 4. It is actually the full height of what it was originally. Number 5. There we go, all of them are done. Look at that. All pins go. Now we need to put the whole thing back together again. Terribly sorry, a customer came in and now it's the moment of truth. We have got this all back in place and we are going to put on this top cap. Top cap sliding on. Just got to do some wiggly wiggly to get this piece in the center. There we go, that's all sealed back over. We're going to test it first, then we might be able to screw it. So let's find out. This is the key in question. We're going to turn it and moment of truth, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Not bad. You could actually do this yourself. I'm not going to say it's not a bad idea at all. If you can get yourself a cabinet lock like this, go and see any key cutter. I believe he will sell you a blank key. I would. I'm all for people learning stuff like this. And yeah, well, that's a victory in my eyes. I am now going to screw it back up with my new screws that I acquired. 1 and 2. And yes, thank you very much for watching.